Okay, so when I said I know how, what I meant is I thought there was going to be some way that would reveal itself to me, and actually there isn't. I was thinking this is where I get the ability to fly, and I was going to come back around the other way and then cross this chasm from there to here. So now I don't know actually what to do. Any invisible bridges? Let me throw some clocks over there. Can I fill the pit with clocks? How cool would that be if I put a clock down there and slowly you'd see it fill up? Yeah, it is very Portal, isn't it? Maybe there's a secret path. Yeah, maybe do I have to come back to this later? They made it seem like it was relevant to this moment, but it just might not be. Well, for the sake of argument, let's jump down and see what happens. So with my incredible dash abilities, I can go pretty far. Just can't really see much down here. Oh, okay, it's an instant death pit. That's okay. Maybe I have to have flight before I can get to there. No, you can't surf on the clock with telekinesis, sadly. That would be cool, though. Is it too far to dash across? It might not be, but the problem is you always lose a tiny bit of height each time you redash. So the amount of height I'd lose over that distance would be enough that I wouldn't be able to grab the ledge, sadly. So I would need to start higher to be able to make a jump like that. But yeah, I should have enough energy to make that distance at least. Yeah, I can't dash upwards. So we still don't know how to get in here. What happened in the medical wing? I think I got killed and then turned around, right? Right, I got off on a tangent because I finished that other quest. And then it led me back around again. So if I had my buddy, we could totally open this break room. Oh my gracious. My sweet gracious. My sweet biscuits. Biscuits and bread rolls. What now? Oh, burly barnacles. Yeah, we've been in here. Where did I get exploded? Was it... I think it was around here, right? No, I found the fungal friends. So, like, right past this point. Man, I really wish there was, like, a security level 1,500 or some ridiculous thing. That would be so funny. What is it with these guys? Oh. I think I'm at security level 5 at the moment, so 6 is like the next one I get. You're kind of fucking me up here. All of those cages in the back just getting stuck on each other. They look like marshmallow melty people. We can call them melters. Oh, hello, Shadow. Cryo chamber? What the hell happened? Oh, they're like... Something's psychically attacking me? I don't know what's happening here. Apparently don't go in that room. Now I need health. And there isn't any, so I don't know where I'm going. What? I don't get what was hurting me there. Control points heal you? Oh, I guess I should have gone back then. Man. Because those putty buddies didn't seem to be very painful. Like, they would vomit on you and stuff, but, like, who doesn't in this day and age? So I'm pretty used to that kind of stuff, but, like, what was that precision kill shot? I guess maybe I come through that door to get to there. Like, at any range, they seem like they're just easy. Again? I just cleared those. Maybe I can kill all of them at this choke before we have to deal with it. So many. Oh. Oh, is it shooting? Yeah, it's shooting some kind of nastiness at me. I don't think I ever even saw it do that before. And it also seems to stay back from the other ones. Oh, it's got like a flower for a face. I see. I can't shoot it through here, right? No, it's locked. Okay, at least I understand now. Those screwing me up not knowing. So I have ammo refund, headshot damage, plus 88%. That seems good. Good for my main weapon, anyway. Reload speed. I could use like a level 5 of that. I guess the more you look at these, the more you start to recognize the symbols a bit more. So change out Shatter for Pierce. And I have damage while aiming 27. I think I have a much better one than that. Well, it's a worse one. $29. I wonder if the headshot damage is worth it. Oh, there's also a document in here I didn't see. A mold autopsy. Delightful. Mold autopsy. The deceased was a redacted-year-old redacted with no significant past medical history. The subject was brought in after being discovered in the active threshold in an early state of decay that is characteristically fungal-based in its appearance. During autopsy, the cadaver's pleural cavities were revealed to be entirely filled with by a fungus known as the mold. Well, that's not very original at all. To an extent that medical staff were forced to put on decontamination suits. The procedure was also hindered by anomalies such as the deceased's high body temperature and undulating torso muscles, presumably, but not provably, caused by trapped gases. Routine samples, as well as tissue samples requested by Dr. Underhill, were successfully extracted. However, their rapid retrogression outside of the host body needs to be noted. Cause of death, mold ingestion. Yeah, it's very Last of Us in here. So let's see if we can shoot this freaking spore thrower. Did I dink him? Yeah, I think I dinked him. What a good gun that is. So I guess they were like cryo chambering over there. I'm expecting like 24 of them in one of these boxes. Maybe not. Anything down here? It probably shouldn't be breathing at all. Unless she's immune to mold. Yeah, I know. There's still combat stuff going on somewhere. Oh, or I just needed to leave that room, maybe. Oh, Polaris must eat the mold. Okay. Hey, Teogen. I'm doing okay today. Thanks for asking. We had a bit of a very long stint of troubleshooting before this session started up. So that wore me down a little bit, but game's still fun. Thought I actually went insane for a while, but turns out actually didn't. Very happy to hear that. I was completely ready to accept it, too. Have I been in here already? Oh, no. I watched Jim Sterling's, well, most of Jim Sterling's review video on this, and didn't want to see any spoilers, so I kind of stopped it at the point where it sounded like he was going to get into stuff I didn't want to see yet. And he seemed very mediocre on the whole thing. He didn't seem particularly intrigued by it or anything. I think he found the story to be rather bland, which I obviously disagree with. So, like, this is one of those times when I actually I don't agree with Jim Sterling's review. Usually we're very in step with that kind of stuff. But maybe I just have a particular interest in this one topic, so maybe it is kind of pushing me over the top with regard to being interested in it. And if that's the case, I mean, it's not that I don't respect his opinion or anything, of course I do. But it did lead me to one actual criticism. I want to watch this first, though.
While investigating a suspected altered world event case in the New York City subway tunnels.
Yeah, same plan.
Up into the building. Once we became aware of it, it was there. For the rest of the population, it was hiding in plain sight. A slippery blind spot, seemingly discouraging observation. It's a place of power. An ongoing AWE of its own, seemingly adhering to its physical outer constraints and yet constantly breaking the known boundaries of reality. It's unstable, shifting. Note, for more details on control points and the research and process to stabilize and secure the core sectors, refer to a separate presentation. After extensive research and investigation, the Bureau made the building its headquarters on November 13th, 1968. The Federal Bureau of Control was never out in the open. This was always an obfuscated, classified top-secret operation. So imagine our surprise when the building's observation-resistant aspects began in some unquantifiable way to affect the Bureau as a whole.
Okay. Premise is great. Execution feels a bit like the show Lost. So many questions need answers. But will they be answered? Yeah, I don't know. Right, so the one thing that I wanted to say that I do think is a bit of a negative about the game, and it's sort of in line with what I just read a second ago, I don't know that they make as good a use or as good of an integration of the objects of power into the actual game world as they could. But I think that comes from needing this to be sort of a uniformly shootery game. I would have probably preferred less combat and more intrigue. And what I mean by that is, like, having to figure out different dynamic situations from one scene to the next, rather than it being go to point A, shoot all the things, go to point B, shoot all the things. And you kind of get used to, well, there's these orange dudes running around. They're kind of just generic orange dudes. Might as well be zombies, really. And with such an intriguing background, to kind of limit the enemy engagements, quote-unquote, to these kind of generic-seeming monsters, it just seems like you're shooting yourself in the foot when you have so much else you could be doing. That being said, I don't think it's making the game bad or anything. It's more just in my ideal version of what this could be in my head. That's much what I'd prefer.
P6 is what the Bureau calls Dylan. His cell's been breached. Has the Hiss found him? Are you there with him? Can you protect him?
I would almost rather, for the most of the game, for it to be like suspense puzzles or, you know, very little combat. Maybe you only need to use your gun even a handful of times throughout the game. But that's an entirely different game, and it's Remedy, so, I mean, it's a shooter, and that's fine. So judging the game on what it is rather than what I wish it was, it's still very good. Exceptionally good, in fact. There's just still sort of the vestiges of an idea that I have that's very close to this, but not quite this, that I think might be more enjoyable. And the puzzles have been just like, you know, put a cube in a wall. It's not a big deal. Oh, there was the one with the setting up the boxes. Ah, I was right. It was a shortcut. I am appreciating the level design more, that I've noticed these shortcuts that lead back as the world kind of opens up. That's always fun. Have you seen the Lost Room TV miniseries? There were a bunch of items in an out-of-phase hotel room that got magical qualities. No, I haven't. That sounds cool, though. I saw one, I think it was on Netflix, maybe? It was like a haunted house that shows up in this town, and no one really knows where it came from, and it, like, steals people. It had some really weird shit in it, and then it, like, gets in your head. I guess we'll go back to the hotel again. Oh, hi.
Bless us. Bless us.
Dendrio. Oh, there's a screaming man. Thanks very much for the 11 months and saying that you're glad to see me back in action. Whoa. I thought it was a man. Maybe it's a baby? Is it a baby man? Man baby? Alright, ding the bell. What do we get? Oh, this is different. The fan's on the floor. Oh, we're on the ceiling. Sorry, my bad. Kind of should have figured that out when I saw the... Oh, well, the TV's still kind of in a position that doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's okay. Yeah, Channel Zero, that's the one. I forgot the name. I watched like 85% of season 2, I think it was. Apparently season 1 had like a man with teeth for a face or something, and I didn't see that one, but I saw the haunted house one. It was like almost interesting, but then kind of wore out its welcome. What's that? Oh, nothing. Okay. So that's the only interactable thing, I guess. We've never gone in rooms on this side of the hallway, only those. And I see some blood coming out of that one, it seems. I mean, you know the answer is we... Oh, I just needed to do that. We always just want the best new Silent Hill idea, really, is I think what it comes down to. And there's always some Silent Hill in these kind of experiments. So that should fix a bridge somewhere, or move me around. Where am I? Oh, it just opened the door, I see.
It's been a long time since Dylan and I knew each other.
I really like this monolithic area.
What kind of man he'd grow up to be.
Baby
Things
man?
as hard for him as they were for me.
Man baby?
Maybe in here, they were even harder.
Those huge, heavy black rock slabs are super cool, too. Just really good, suspenseful atmosphere in this game all the time. Oh, this is a new non-dead person. We haven't seen the janitor in ages, either. Wonder what that's all about.
Cell breaches popping up all over the place.
Alright.
What's going on with the eye?
Lay it on me.
Oh, hello. Is there something I can help you with?
I'm Jessie, the new director. I need to get inside.
New director. Right. Well, okay. Hello, I'm Frederick Langston, the Panopticon supervisor. It's not the best time for a tour. We have hiss everywhere, numerous cell breaches, and system failures across the board, but you're the director, so here we go. Founded by Zachariah Trench, the Panopticon is our state-of-the-art repository for all altered items.
Don't have time for this.
Literal facepalm.
I was told Dylan Faden was kept here. Can you help me find him?
Faden. Sure.
Darling wanted him somewhere secure and isolated away from people. He's in the maximum security cells, upper level. But there's currently a pressing matter, ma'am. We've got an object of power loose in there. It's wrecking the place.
This guy's nodding in agreement.
It's a real doozy.
You want to see a doozy? Check out my gun.
But no one's heard from them for hours. This is a Category 5 OOP we're talking about, and if we don't contain it soon, it will tear the Panopticon apart.
Nobody mentioned Category 5.
We don't want all those altered items getting loose, ma'am. No, trust me.
Dylan's in there.
Open the door, Langston. I'll handle it.
If you say so. I usually tell first-timers not to touch anything, so, just do that. Here, I'll get the door for you. And please, ma'am, call me Fred.
Thanks, Langston.
He's probably like, yeah, this is the last time I'll ever see you anyway, so.
Numerous cell breaches on every level. These hiss things are a bad influence on my collection.
How the hell did they get in?
Is the TV back in its box yet? No rush or anything, it's just, you know, an ongoing concern.
I thought I had to talk to him again to make him open the door, but no, I guess we'll listen to some other stuff.
Do you like working at the FBC?
Sure. I mean, yeah, the drama's a bit much, but I get better benefits here than I would over at the Postal Service. I checked. Better healthcare. That's not to say I don't like my job, ma'am. Been here over 15 years. No one knows the Panopticon collection better than me. I'm, close to them, in a way.
I can't tell if that's creepy or normal here.
It's funny, through all of this, healthcare is the thing that people need.
How do you keep the altered items under control?
It depends on the item. Each one has different needs. Ritualistic touches go a long way. Singing to them.
Did he say
Flipping
singing?
the lights 3 times, that sort of thing. It's not superstition if it works.
Yeah, we have a department about that. Yeah, so singing and the plants, that was a thing before. We talked about that, and who is known to be doing a lot of singing in this facility?
What's the difference between objects of power and altered items?
Think of them like storms. Objects of power are like tropical cyclones or hurricanes for the uneducated. They're big, rare, and scary. Of course, directors can just bind the OOP and become the eye of the storm. Altered items are more like weird thunderstorms. Some may rain frogs, some may rain corn, but they all rain something.
And how does the hiss factor into all that?
It's changing them, making them aggressive. Now they're all raining, I don't know, knives. Knife rain.
Nice metaphor.
Knife rain. That delivery sounded like someone I've heard do comedy before. I don't know who that was, though. Like Dimitri Martin or something.
Did you work closely with Trench?
Oh, he spent most of his time with Darling and all them. The inner circle. Not that I care.
Trench certainly had his favorites.
He did stop in occasionally to scowl and smoke.
That was a thing, actually, in
Did you know the
Adventure
Bureau has
Time,
a no
yeah.
smoking policy? It does. Just not for Trench. Still, he is the one who put aside funding for the Panopticon. The man did have vision.
I gotta say, for as much as some of the Uncanny Valley character models have come up, most of the characters I like watching deliver their lines. And listening to them deliver their lines. They did a good job with that.
How did you get this job?
Started as a junior agent because my uncle knew a guy. From there I got put on a desk until an accident left the containment sector severely understaffed. At which point I got bumped up to management. Put in a steady 8 hours a day for another 10 years and voila. Supervisor.
I just picked up a gun. Or a gun picked me.
Okay, thank you.
I'll see you later, Langston.
I'll be here, like always.
Yeah, the janitor's still obviously my favorite, but he's up there for intrigue, I suspect. Alright, let's go in.
The Panopticon.
Oh god, it's huge.
Dylan's close. But that object of power might wreck this place before I find him.
What is happening on my leg? Is that my mouse doing that? Oh yeah, it's my mouse. Felt something like twitching, and it's like a wire bumping into my leg, and I was like, is there a bunch of ants? It's just when I'm moving my mouse, it's brushing against me. It's like I thought my cat was hollow yesterday. I was petting the side of him, and this one spot, every time I would pet it, it would make this weird, like, hollow coarseness to his fur that I didn't really understand. It's kind of like you were rubbing on styrofoam or something. Yeah, hollow, like he was empty, like it was making reverberations. And I was really mystified by this, and I was like, okay, so I pet him over here, everything's normal, but I pet him here, and he sounds weird every time. I was like, okay, the cat's possessed by something. What's going on here? And after, I don't know, a couple of minutes, I realized what was happening was the very top part of my arm where my sleeve was brushing against my shorts, only at the certain angle that I was resting my arm to pet the cat on one spot. And because it was underneath the coffee table, the way the acoustics were bouncing off the glass table were coming back around and hitting me just right, so it sounded like it was coming from the cat. So that's... the mind does weird things, as today's, you know, a great attribution toward. Cat's not hollow, thank goodness. He's doing fine. Do you have a VR headset, and if so, do you like the purchase? I do. I have an Oculus Rift, first gen. Whether or not I regret the purchase depends on what day it is. On Wednesdays, I generally don't regret it. On other days, I do. No, I don't know. It's got a lot of great qualities to it, but I feel like the technology still needs even a little bit more time in the oven. I know some people that got the Vive feel slightly differently, and some people that got the Index, they're pretty happy with that. But it varies upon what space you have to use, and like what kind of games you want to play on it. I will say it's incredibly immersive and incredible technology that only a few years ago wasn't possible in a home setting. So for the sake of experiencing the cutting edge, that's super awesome, and I would say that was worth the money. In terms of getting regular usage out of it, not so much. I put it on every so often, but like 3 times a year at this point. I think this is forward. So yeah, I don't use it regularly. If I had a much better, like, bigger space and a setup for it, I think I would use it a bit more. Because I really do enjoy some of the stuff you can do in it. Gorn is great fun. Beat Saber is great fun. There's a handful of, like, shooty type games that I think would be great fun if I had the room to play them properly. But Beat Saber even, like, I have to turn off the ducking and dodging stuff in it, which is actually a decent part of the game, because I just don't have room. I've got, like, a 2x2 foot space next to my desk to use. So, is that a picnic basket? Yeah, it is. Yeah, keep an eye on that. But if you're asking, like, is VR cool? Yes, absolutely. If you have the money for it and you have a space to play it in, I think you'll enjoy it. But if you're still on the edge about is the technology where it needs to be for everyone to enjoy it, not necessarily. I would say if, is that Mojilnir? Or, you know, the hammer? If you're ever finding yourself in one of those years where you're like, oh, I have a tax rebate coming, do I buy another flat screen TV? Yeah, maybe consider VR then. That might be okay. Or, you know, just keep on waiting, because it's only just going to get cheaper. But it is, like, legitimately incredible to do. Like, to try it for the first time, you're going to have your mind blown. Mjolnir, there it is. Oh yeah, no problem. I mean, on Roundtable we spent like a couple of years discussing whether or not VR was a viable thing. I still think it's fantastic in theory. It just needs to go a little bit further with the tech. And it's pretty close, as it is, honestly. Altered item units or fire break. Is that where I am? 4th floor, okay.
Something went wrong with the Bureau's plan to make Dylan the next director. Marshall made it sound like it was all Dylan's fault, but how much of it was what the Bureau did to him? I don't think she's telling me everything.
Oh. Could I roll out of that and get to a secret asylum demon fight?